What's good? What's goody? What's goody? What's goody, man? Still Mills checking back in with y'all, man. Heading up to Sioux City on a one-man route for the drive, for the job and all that. But I wanted to come and talk to y'all about Joyce and Usyk, and I want to say salute to Usyk, because I know he was a mandatory for not Wilder, but Anthony Joshua, and I was kind of holding up the the process where we would get this undisputed thing in full motion. So I want to say salute to Usyk for allowing the greater good of boxing to supersede his own personal gain. I think that's dope, man. That takes a lot of rigor as a human being. Like, nah, all right, cool, we'll run it. Yeah, I ain't tripping. Y'all go ahead and knock that out. So I mean, by that time, shit, it'll be a sweeter deal for you. So now you ain't just fighting for 3 belts, whoever, whenever you fighting for 4 of them bitches. You could be the next undisputed heavyweight. So, salute to him for that, man. But him and Joyce, they fought in the amateurs, man. I forget who, I forget who won. But I've been saying this for years, man. They've been talking about Usyk going up to heavyweight and being able to dangle with the big dogs up there, and I didn't see the one-punch knockout power as a cruiserweight that you would need to really gain and garner the respect of the heavyweights up there to have the success that you had as a undisputed cruiserweight champion. So I was like, I felt like the best way to gauge who would win, like how he would fare against the cat like Anthony Joshua, was to see how you could deal with a pressure fighter, and Joyce was the name that I brung up, the immediate name that I brung up. I'm like, we know what we're getting out of Joyce. Even with Joyce, like the dimensions on Joyce aren't as visible as a Usyk or a Fury or a Joseph Parker or Anthony Joshua, but goddamn, bro, like what that man did to Dubois, I never expected that. I really didn't, man. I thought Dubois was winning the fight, and I thought he was winning it convincingly up until, like, the effects of the jab started to manifest in his eye. I can't remember, I forget what round it was, man, but my man's eye was like the size of a golf ball. I'm like, fuck. I didn't recall Joyce's jab, because I don't think there were like head snapping jabs that he was landing with. I don't too much recall Daniel Dubois' head, just snapping back as a result of Joyce's jab. I don't. And I don't remember Daniel Dubois really hurting Joyce, but I do remember the more visible shots being on the being at the helm of fucking Daniel Dubois' fist. I never thought he was hurt, but I do remember, Joyce's head nodding to the beat a few times. And so I'm like, I think he's winning the fight, and I think he was landing the bigger shots, the more visible shots that we judge boxing by, man. And it wasn't until like the mid rounds where I'm like, damn, he's doing damage to that man's eye like that. And I thought it was more dimensions with the Daniel Dubois. I understand, Joyce is he's a bit older, he's a bit more seasoned as just a boxer in general. He got a late start as a pro in the pros. I didn't take that into consideration. I just thought Daniel Dubois was I thought he had the bigger arsenal, and I still do. I still think he has the better arsenal. But it's just with Joyce, he was able to neutralize that shit off of the jab, and I was impressed because when I watched Joyce against what's my man named Iago, the only nigga I know outside of Aladdin with the name Iago. But I watched how he fought him, and just how heavy he was on his front foot. Heavy, like heavy. Like, damn, like you couldn't win. If you had the opportunity to stand in front of Joe Joyce in a car, you would be weighing your options. That's how heavy he is on his front foot, and when he gets to you, it's lights out. That dude is huge. He's a fucking tank. It's just like, man, even with Joshua, is you know, he's a lot more methodical with his approach in the fight. Joe Joyce is not lethargic, but he's heavy on his front foot. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's got to be the scariest shit in the world to have that shit coming at you. God damn. So I would have liked this. I was always saying, let's see how Usyk will be able to deal with pressure like that. Because I think from a cerebral standpoint, he can deal, not necessarily deal with. Yeah, he can deal with the majority of the cats up there, but it's just the pressure. It's the pressure and the, you know, can you get out of range of these shots, man? Because Chisora was hitting him. Chisora was hitting him. I think a lot of the shots he was hitting him with was on the glove. But when you get up there, man, the shot on the glove, it's gonna be like getting hit in the jaw. You dig what I'm saying? Them cats have tight guards up there. So the glove is just with anybody. The glove is gonna rest on your face. It's gonna, the glove is gonna rest on your face. When a motherfucker clip you, the pressure of the fucking, the force and the impact of the shots that them big niggas is hitting you with is gonna be, it's just equivalent to you getting hit without the glove on your face. You just caught a flush shot on the chin. So I'm like, I don't know, man. Let him fight a Joe Joyce and see how he can deal with that pressure, man. I think with Usyk's dimensions, I think he can possibly beat Joe Joyce. Not even possibly. I think he can beat Joe Joyce with those dimensions, man. I mean, that dude's full. He's really graceful on his feet. I don't think, we was in the cold. We in the pandemic. That was his only fight last year. I'm sure cobwebs. He's dealing with cobwebs. Even with Chisora, he was gassed early in the fight. He was hella gassed. I think he just went in there and just was expecting, not even think. He went in there and was expecting to make it a brawl. Like, nah, my nigga, you gonna have to fight me. And he, he gassed. And he just got picked apart. Chisora's, 3 inches shorter than, not Dubois, but Joyce. No, he's 4 inches shorter. He's 6'2". And for him to hit, he was hitting him, he was catching him. So how are you gonna be able to do it? I mean, Chisora isn't the fastest on his feet neither. Can you deal with those shots from the Joe Joyce? I don't know, man. Can you stay? Can you have that? Can you have that man looking like a ballerina? Can you twist and turn him like a ballroom dancer? Because you're gonna need to. You are gonna need to. Because I mean, just that dude's jab is, Jesus Christ. It's accurate. It's hard. It's clearly hard. It has to feel like a power punch. So this is always a fight that I've said, all right, if he's gonna be able to tangle up there with them niggas, man, let's get him in front of the likes of a Joe Joyce. If he can handle the pressure of a Joe Joyce, I think he'll do fine at heavyweight. Because I never thought he was gonna be the dude to go. Like it was people who I was seeing, they expected him to stop Derek Chisora. I was like, I don't expect him to stop nobody. No top 10 in that division. None. Not even a Dillian White, considering what just happened to him. I don't see that. Because I don't even think that's in his repertoire. I don't think he's not going. I think he's looking to box for 12 rounds. All right, cool. Now you're going up in the division where ain't no weight limit. You could be as big as the fuck you want to be. All right. He's not. I don't think he has the power to go up in there and just step on a nigga and get him up out of the paint. Because I didn't see it from at cruiserweight. I did. He has knockouts, of course. I mean, he's stopped Michael Hunter, if I'm not mistaken. But it's when it's there. You know when it's not. He ain't looking for the knockout. When he's looking to box all 12. Even Miguel Cotto, he told Sergio Martinez that I'm looking to box all 12 rounds. I ain't looking to stop him. We train for 12. So I think that's his game. I think that's always been his game, and I think because of that, because he's more cerebral with his approach and his tactics, I think he can compete with all of the contenders. But before I say he can compete with an Anthony Joshua and a Tyson Fury, I gotta see him go through, like, see how he deals with the contenders that they have dealt with in the division. More so Joshua than Fury, because I don't think Fury is far. They got a common opponent with Derek Chisora. They got a common opponent, but you dig. I would have to see more. I would have to see how he deals with the Dillian White and the Joseph Parkers and the Andy Ruizes and Charles Martins and the baby faces, and you know, even a Hellenius or a Dominic Brazil or people of that magnitude. I would have to see that, because my coach was dead. He was dead ass telling me, man, he'll beat Anthony Joshua, and I'm like, how? I don't see it right now. I've always thought Anthony Joshua was the baddest heavyweight in the now. I've always thought that, and I still think that. I don't think nobody's gonna beat him. But I mean, I could be proven wrong. And I think with his skill set, you can give him problems, but I just want to see how he fares against these other cats who are on the come up. And Joe Joyce was the first name that I drew up out of that lineup. And now that they about to get in the ring and run that, I'm overjoyed, and I can't wait. COVID has somewhat did some good with a lot of these cats, man. They like, man, ain't no time to waste, man. Let's get into this. People's pockets is hurting. People's pockets is hurting. And I think with this should really be, anything can happen. Anything can, you know, not even just with just your immediate life, like, you know, we not promised tomorrow, but just shit, you know, society, the world got rocked with this COVID virus going around. And these athletes, it's like, you know, especially more so with boxers, more so than anybody, because boxers are only they don't bullshit in MMA with the level of competition that they fight. They went, oh, I want to tune up. All right, now a big fight. Tune up. All right, now a big fight. Nah, man. So now the big fights are what needs to, you know, that's what's saving them. So big fights being made is what's saving them. So I think this is the route we need to keep. This is the energy we need to keep up even after we get out of this pandemic. So I feel like it's a damn good fight. I don't know who will win. I'm kind of torn on it, because I see both. I see attributes from both that contradict the other and offset the other. More so than Usyk. I see more, you know, I think Usyk, his upside is way better, but with Joe Joyce, god damn, dude, that jab. that jab, man. I think he's sneaky quick on his feet too, man. I've seen him cut the ring off from off, and it's just suffocating pressure. It's suffocating pressure, man. And do I think he can do that to a Usyk? Maybe not to the degree he did with the likes of a Iago. But, you know, with Daniel Dubois, he didn't have to do that, because Daniel Dubois was going to meet him in the middle of the ring, as he did. I think you're gonna have to find ways to pivot with Usyk, because he's gonna be turning you. He's gonna be turning you. He doesn't even turn it up until the 3rd and the 4th round, as far as punching off the angles, just like Lomachenko. So I think that's a really compelling fight to see. I can't wait to see it. I don't know when they fighting, but we gotta salute Alexander Usyk for being, you know, like, all right, we gonna do for the, you know, I'm gonna take a step back and do my due diligence for the greater good of the sport, and let them have that undisputed. So for that way, if I win this fight, I get a shot at undisputed. I think that's another real, like, oh, well, shit. If I'm a mandatory now, I may have to wait a year to get my title shot, but I'll be getting a shot at undisputed. So it ain't just 3 straps. Now I get to solidify myself. I can be undisputed in 2 divisions. That's a vibe right there, man. So salute to him for doing that. But I'm really excited for this fight. I can't wait to see it. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. Like and subscribe. Still Mills Boxing, fan. I'm out.